Every 4th of July, athletes from around the country converge on the town of Seward to compete in a race that started out as a bar bet and has since tested mountain runners for nearly a century. At 3,000 feet and 3.1 miles, this is no walk in the park. It's a challenge that's been formed by Mother Nature herself, a race that pushes even the most seasoned runner to their limits. Welcome to KTVA's coverage of Mount Marathon 2014, presented by ConocoPhillips.
Happy 4th of July, everybody, on this terrific, glorious day. Dave Goldman, Emily Carlson, Clint McCool with you. We are all set to go for Mount Marathon number 87.
If you get to the bottom and you're not bleeding, then you didn't try hard enough.
Clint McCool isn't joking. He's finished the race 17 times and still makes at least 30 trips each year from Anchorage to practice.
There's so many different trails, there's so many different approaches to it, and knowing the mountain is more important, in some ways it's more important than your fitness.
So here it is, Mount Marathon. We start at the bottom.
So at this point in the race, you've got a decision to make. You either head for the roots or you continue running up to the cliff face.
The Roots is a tangled, jungle-like ascent up narrow pathways.
All about the handholds.
While the Roots make convenient grippers, the congestion on race day could hold you up.
Once you hit this, your head's gonna be right up against the butt of the person in front of you.
That's why most people choose this route, the cliffs. It's a wider path with plenty of room to pass.
This is very steep, but at least it's rock. And people tend to trust the rock a little bit more.
The Roots and cliffs open up into what some runners call the climb. Here, speed hiking is the name of the game.
And being in the trees, especially on a hot day, it is sweltering and muggy in there. This feels great, just having a little bit of cool air on you.
This is where training trumps athleticism. Clint calls his practice climbs choreography sessions. He can picture each step of the climb in his head.
There's no rule. You can take any route that you like.
The climb takes you all the way to the top, but don't relax, not just yet. Here comes the dangerous part, the scree.
We call it a controlled fall, and that's exactly what it is.
Small, loose rocks litter this part of the mountain, and if you don't watch your step, the result can spell disaster.
And it's very easy to take a trip, and this rock is sharp. If you take a fall up here, you're gonna know it.
If you don't fall here, don't let your guard down. The gut is the most daunting part of the mountain to most racers.
This is actually where most of the injuries take place.
I like traffic.
And they're off.
There we go. It's a great sound. It's a great sight.
It is. Here they come.
And here we go up 4th Avenue. And the cameras are snapping. You probably hear them. And the runners trying to set their pace.
Yep. The lead runner right there is Ricky Gates at the moment, but he's got Jim Shine and Eric Strabel right on his shoulders. And all of those guys are extremely fast road runners.
So you're going out at this point. You've started this race so many times. You want to sprint. You don't want to be in the back and have to work your way and weave your way up and cause more energy.
It is absolutely critical, because what's going to happen is once we get to the mountain, everything becomes incredibly bottlenecked, and it becomes single file for big chunks of the climb. So the last thing you want to do is be stuck behind 30, 40, 50 people.
Dave Goldman along with Clint McCool, Emily Carlson with us. Our entire crew has been here for a good portion of the week, getting set to show you these terrific pictures here. And again, as we've said, Clint, another of these mini turning points in the race, and we're about to hit another one.
Yeah, very soon here, in just a few minutes, we'll see the leaders breaking out of what's called the tree line.
So there we go, mid-mountain.
There we go. And that's Eric Strabel leading, with Ricky Gates coming in right behind him. Those are the two guys that are, when you see Eric now trying to actually get up and run a section, that's a very strong move on his part right there.
Yeah. Looks pretty good, doesn't he?
He's looking very strong. Eric's moving very smoothly, though Ricky's just right on his tail, and he's not letting him get away. In a race like this, you don't want to lose contact with the person in front of you. That's Matt Novakovic holding on to third place. He's doing the same thing. He does not want to lose contact. Once you lose contact, it's very psychologically, it's difficult to catch up. It was up to the guy in front as he managed to gap you.
And you see water being poured on these guys.
Yeah.
Nice to see that.
Absolutely. You didn't notice the lead guys even drinking any water, but people were pouring it on their backs, trying to keep them cool. Eric is looking phenomenally strong. He's still keeping in a running stride at that point, which is unusual.
Good short steps. Those legs are pumping, and he seems comfortable.
He is. Oh, now you see Matt Novakovic making a move, taking a slightly different line. And to see how that happened, he didn't follow Eric. He took a different line, and he just passed Ricky Gates.
Eric is probably more comfortable than Matt is at this point in the race.
Yeah, and I know Eric's strategy pretty well, and as long as he feels like as long as he can be within a half a minute of the leader at the top, then he's going to feel very confident, just because he is so strong in the downhill. And he's easily within 30 seconds of Matt right there. I mean, those guys are nearing the summit right now. That's the lip of the mountain that they're coming up on.
Well, hopefully they got a little water to get sprayed on them, and perhaps a little bit of a breeze. We got a little breeze here too. You're checking your clock too.
I'm curious to see what the time is. So that's a really strong move again on Matt's part. Now he's even gonna try to run this last little pitch around the rock, and Eric's right on his heels. So these guys are putting on just a heck of a race given these conditions.
And Matt probably feeling it too at this point. I got to get going and get on the horse because he knows what he's got behind him.
Yeah. That is a really strong time, again, given a day like this. Last year, the first guy to the top was 32.5 minutes. Today, it's 33.5 minutes, and I would attribute that to the heat.
33-35, very impressive.
Yeah. But Eric is going to be right on his heels, and Eric is fast.
This is as impressive as anything you'll see. Well, every leg of this is impressive, but think about this, folks. You're in the heat right now, and look at these guys.
Eric just took a different line, and look what happened. He is already past Matt in the first 30 seconds coming off of the top.
And here we go as the runners getting closer to the finish line. Will it be Eric Strabel? Welcome back, everybody. Mount Marathon 2014 on KTVA Channel 11. Dave Goldman along with Clint McCool, Emily Carlson, the entire crew here. And look at him go, Eric Strabel.
He's going to win this race. He's going to win it handily. And he's going to make it look easy, but I guarantee you it was not.
He's going to make it, he's going to go away. And we saw how much Holly Brooks struggled to get across the finish line.
You're not going to see that with Eric. Eric is looking strong. He managed his body heat this entire time. He's running smooth. There's no wobble to his gait at all. He's looking great.
And you can see too, he is straight ahead. He is focused. Holly turned around a number of times to see just how close second place was, and second was right there with Christie.
Yeah.
Strabel looking really good.
Yeah, Strabel's looking really strong. You can look at the blood on his knee. He gave it his all. As I said before, we say that if you're not bleeding when you come off the mountain, you didn't try hard enough, and you can see the scrapes on his back. Eric obviously took a full-on fall where he did a somersault and landed across his back and his knee. But he's going to win this running away. Now we have Matthias Sari in second place with Matt Novakovic behind him. They're approaching the turn. You'll probably see Matthias look over his shoulder a little bit, but he looks like he has a pretty commanding lead.
That's quite a picture, quite a stride.
It is. Just a powerful runner.
Some runners will acknowledge the crowd, a high five. Eric Strabel takes it in impressive fashion today. He's running away from everybody today. Still a great stride, even despite that third.
There you go. You're looking at Matthias, and he's grinding it out. He knows he's got it, but he's not going to relinquish. He's not going to let up because he knows Matt's close enough there to still might be an issue. But Matthias is going to keep his lead. He's going to take second place. Again, for this day, that was a super strong performance.
I did not lead until we were over halfway up, and thankfully that's the reason why I had a good one the rest of the way. Matt was having a great race, Matt Novakovic, and he was pushing me the rest of the way up and even got to the top first.